Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Scott.
I'm John.
And we're married. Still.
Still.
Believe it or not.
It's the holidays, though. You never know.
So we're about to have Thanksgiving tomorrow in the United States. And outlying territories. I don't know what that means.
Sure.
We are in a situation where our technical difficulties continue.
They've changed.
Today, it's that our dog ate our tripod, and I'm not kidding.
Yeah. We came home and...
He's asleep right
Okay,
there.
he's been good. There was just wreckage everywhere.
Little pieces of black plastic chewed up everywhere, and that would have been our tripod that we used to prop our phone up. So right now now our phone that we used to record our episodes are sitting on a stack of board game boxes, and they look like they're about to fall over.
Yeah.
Also, in about 10 minutes, we're going to have to stop and get interrupted because I got to take my pecan pie out of the oven.
Right. Because we're hosting Thanksgiving tomorrow, and we are cooking, or he's cooking.
I don't actually pronounce it pecan, but... being from Georgia, I'm forced to pronounce it pecan. I would actually say pecan.
Pecan.
Because I'm hoity-toity that way. But yeah, so my pecan pie is going to be ready, and I'm going to have to take it out of the oven. So we got lots of fun stuff to talk about.
Yes.
We loved all the feedback and all the comments and everything from everybody about how happy they were that we had recorded an episode. So that was very nice.
Yep, and our cowl prizes should be...
Yes, we're working with the people who won our prizes to get them shipped out to them.
So hopefully they'll be in the mail or on their website.
You're promising like my time, girl. My time. But no, it'll get to everybody. It's about to be Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Tomorrow. We're hosting. We're having some friends over. Neither of us live within easy traveling distance of our families, so that's why we're hosting it. Plus we have some friends that are in similar situations, so we all get together and make turkey and pecan pie and mashed potatoes and sweet potato souffle. And what are you making? Corn and bacon casserole?
Corn and bacon casserole.
Is that the scallop corn casserole, or is it just
I don't
corn
know
and
what
bacon?
it is. It's something. It's a newish recipe this year. It's some variation of corn.
You seem like
bacon.
you don't want to talk about Thanksgiving. You seem dismissive and angry about Thanksgiving. This is kind of the feeling I get when you're knitting.
Huh.
You love it when I pick at you on the podcast, don't you? It's your favorite thing.
Love it.
All right, so let's talk about knitting then. If John doesn't want to talk about short talk, what's short
I just feel
talk?
like Thanksgiving is a little, problematic. No, we just
weren't we celebrating the how we killed the British or something?
It's not exactly what it is, but close.
So we've got finished objects, we've got stuff in progress, we've got holiday
Yarn.
knitting, we've got yarn that we bought, we've got a new store that we discovered, all kinds of fun stuff. So we're gonna start with you.
With me.
With a hat project.
Yes.
You did.
So this is a
Oh, it moved. Okay.
What moved?
Well, it was sitting over there, but
Yes. So a couple of weeks ago, I went to Stephen B, which was one of our local yarn shops, and I found this skein of yarn. It is
it's almost like a
it's a Malabrigo.
what's that stuff called?
It's almost like roving.
Roving. It's almost
Very
like roving.
Chunky Malabrigo. Hang on, I forget. So anyway, I was at Stephen B and was just sort of looking around, and I found this really amazing skein of Malabrigo yarn. I think the color is midnight blue or
You're making that up.
something like that.
I think it's midnight sky.
Sure.
I think it's
It looks very
deep navy.
deep navy.
Ocean's Deep. That's what it's called.
I don't think it is. I think it's
Marianas Blue. Mid-Atlantic Ridge. That's the name of it. I could name colors.
You could name colors. You can do a lot of things. Anyway, so I saw this skein of yarn, and I'm like, I would like to knit something out of it. And I'm like, I'm going to make a hat. So...
Is it showing up blue on the camera? I can't see the camera because our dog ate our tripod.
I did.
Can't see this.
So I just made a quick vanilla hat. 1 by 1 ribbing.
So did you use a pattern?
No.
So how did you know how to do the decreases?
I just did the
I guess
decreases.
it's like a sock. And like
Yeah.
I know I don't have to think
Yeah.
about a pattern anymore.
Yeah, I just sort of did the decreases. You can sort of see them up there.
Which decrease did you use?
I can't remember. I think I well, I don't
Knit
know.
two together, slip, slip, knit.
I think I did the center leaning decrease, maybe.
What does that mean?
Where you... I don't remember.
Central what?
There's one where you take 3 stitches and make them 1. I feel like this is probably a slip slip knit
Okay.
because it's a right leaning decrease.
Okay.
I don't know. I just decreased. It's been a while. But yeah, just made a hat.
Yeah, and you made it in like
A day and a half.
a minute.
Yeah.
It's very warm.
Very warm, very chunky, and very easy. So, and it's one of those things where
Sometimes you just need to knit a hat.
sometimes you just need to knit an easy hat without thinking too much about it, and use thick, chunky yarn so it goes really quickly, so you get a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
So,
That's
Ta-da.
so crazy, this yarn.
yeah.
So, cool.
Yeah. It was
Do
very...
you remember what size needles you used? Were they 8s?
Nines?
Never mind. So,
Nines, maybe?
yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay.
It's been a while since I did this.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks, maybe 4.
Okay, so, anything else to say about that?
Nope.
All right. You don't know what the yarn color name is, you don't know what size
Needles
you
you
used, and you don't know what decrease you used.
It's
This is the quality content that people have come to expect from a Sweet Tea No Shade episode.
I mean, it's a nice hat.
It is a nice hat.
I feel like hats...
Unless I point out your flaws, I have no purpose in life.
Yeah.
So, all right, well,
Huh.
I have all kinds of details for my project.
Yeah.
I finished my mittens.
Yay!
And they're super cute. So they are... I don't remember the name of that.
Jesus.
After I just made fun of
Please.
you. The pattern that I used was the Mittens, a tutorial and pattern by Terry Morris. And that was a knit along where it was a multi-page pattern where she walked you through, I'm assuming it's a her, it could be a he, walked you through the structure of a mitten. And that was my goal, was to learn about mittens. Kind of like how I learned about socks. So it was a really great pattern. I didn't really have a problem with the hole where the thumb joins, because they helped you pick up stitches there, or they talked to you about picking up stitches there. One thing I noticed is that one is bigger than the other, but
When you wear them, you don't notice that.
you don't notice
though.
that when you wear them. And they're kind of the wool that I used was from Notorious, which is a store in St. Louis. And it was a local dyer. I don't think the dyer has I don't know. It was like they did it for the shop. I don't think that like they have but it's not dyed, I should say. It's natural yarn. So, what was my point about that? Oh, so even though they're not real thick, they're very warm. And then the other thing is that I had talked about about these before is the decrease or the increase that I used to do the thumb gusset. At the time, I really didn't like the make one. And that's where you pick up the bar in between the 2 stitches and then you knit that bar through the back loop, or that you knit that picked up loop through the back loop. And I didn't particularly care for that at the time. Since then, I've changed my opinion on that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I used where you yarn over, and then the next round you knit the yarn over through the back loop, which is very, as you pointed out in the last episode, it's very similar. Okay, so...
Is the pie done?
No.
Okay.
Well, I think it's done. I struggle with pecan pies because they always look done to me. And I think they're kind of like custard type pies where it should have a little bit of a wobble in the middle. Because last time I baked this recipe for like 2 hours.
Huh.
But I'll check in a little while.
Yeah.
So, what were we talking about?
mittens, yarn decreases.
So, Elior Levi commented about a different increase called the knit front slip back. So that was not one that I'd heard of before, and it was on this website called yarnsub.com. And so a knit one slip back is basically, or knit front slip back is, instead of knit front and back, you knit the front, and then instead of knitting the back, you just slip it through the back loop. You slip it over, you knit it, and then you don't transfer the stitch over. You stick your needle in the back like you're gonna knit it, but you don't knit it, you slip it over.
That's crazy.
Well, and so what it does is, with knit front and back, you get this bar, almost like a purl bump, where that increase is, and it ends up not creating that bar.
Texture. So it's
very, I mean, it's almost invisible.
Huh.
So they have a demo on that yarnsub.com. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't tried that, so it's something I'm going to try. But what's my point? Oh, the other thing is, I have not seen this website before, yarnsub.com. You basically can say, a pattern calls for Cascade 220. You can put in Cascade 220, and it'll give you substitutes for that yarn.
So it's kind of like the front of a cookbook.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't have buttermilk, but I can use vinegar and regular butter instead.
Regular milk, but yeah.
Yeah, regular butter.
Butter and vinegar. So yeah, isn't that weird? I mean, not weird, but like, I thought that was interesting. I haven't played around with it.
Yeah, that sounds, I guess...
But thank you to Elior Levi, because it's...
Good site?
Well, I don't know. It's just something new and fun and interesting to look at. So... Cool. Mittens, I like them. I'm going to do lots more. You can knit them on 9-inch circulars, which is my favorite thing in the world. It's like knitting socks, but not really. I really want to do some color work mittens. Yeah, so...
And it's a useful time to make mittens right now.
Yeah, another thing I was like, I'm not going to be able to get to my phone. And, with a mitten, you don't have your fingers, but that's not been a problem. Especially because you don't want to take your hands out into the exposed air in Minnesota.
Well, I mean, if you need to get on your phone that badly,
you've got issues.
Exactly.
All right, so moving on. Do you want to talk about what you're knitting right now?
Sure. So this is a new thing that I started. We were in Atlanta a year and a half ago. We went to
visiting Cody. Hi,
visiting Cody.
Nurse
Hi,
Cody.
And also your mom and your aunt. I went to a yarn store there. It was like a big yarn store, kind of in the suburbs. It's like a warehouse.
Yes. What was the name of that place?
We used to. Hang on. I have the bag. It was called Eat, Sleep, and Knit.
Eat, Sleep, Knit is the name of the store.
Eat, Sleep, Knit. Eat, Sleep, and Eat.
Sheep, sleep. Eat, sheep, sleep.
Eat, Sleep, Knit. So it was a huge store. It was maybe 45 minutes outside of Atlanta, maybe.
Out of downtown.
Outside of downtown. And so we went there, and they just had so I found this yarn there.
I have to cut those things out. Never mind. Keep going. I work and I slave over iMovie. Here John did this. Click, click, cut. Because I never make a mistake. It's just like perfectly flowing when I do it.
We had a whole episode we had to delete because it was one big mistake by you, so I don't want to hear any of it.
So, show your beautiful wife beater. I mean your
beautiful
sweater vest. Oh my god. Okay, keep going.
So I found this yarn that I really liked. It is Blue Moon Cake DK.
Blue Moon Fiber Arts.
Blue Moon Fiber Arts. Cake DK, and it's called Antiquated System, which is a Doctor Who reference, maybe?
Okay.
Sure. I think. So, it's real pretty.
Is that a whole... Did you get 2 skeins of it?
I got 3 skeins of it.
You got 3 skeins of it.
So, there's about 760 yards.
How many grams?
100
grams?
255.
Or 255, yeah.
So, here it is. And I just sort of fell in love with it. And I was like, I need to do something with this. And I was like, I'm going to do a sweater with this. And just sort of picked up the yarn and was like, Someday. And
Oh, and this is the yarn that really smells like sheep.
yeah. Bah. So anyway,
It's 100% merino, by the way.
so I've been, looking and flirting with sweater patterns for a while, trying to find the one that worked for this. And then I think you recommended to me, someone recommended to me, there's a pattern by Tin Can Knits called Flax, which is a really kind of basic top-down sweater. So I swatched and I got it and I just started doing it, and here's where I am on it. So
And the reason that I recommended that one is because John was looking for a basic sweater.
yeah,
And I knew that, first of all, I think it's a free pattern.
it's a free pattern.
They've got 1 billion sizes of it.
It's got 1 billion tutorials too.
Okay.
So it's really like, it's kind of like baby's first sweater, right? Where you're just trying to
It's in our Disney haunted mansion bag.
So, and here's what the yarn looks like caked up, if we care about that. So yeah, I started it maybe a couple weeks ago, and here's where I am right now.
Get your back out of my wine.
Whatever. So here's where we are. Ta-da!
Yeah, I can't believe how quickly you're blowing through this.
Yeah, so part of it is I'm using, I think, 9s. Yeah, so I did the
Gauge swatch.
what?
Gauge swatch.
Yeah, the gauge swatch. So the pattern actually calls for smaller needles, but the yarn is Aran weight. It calls for Aran weight yarn with smaller needles, and this is DK, so it's not quite that. So I just sort of upped the needle size until I got the correct size, and that's garter stitch.
But there's those 4 rows together.
That's a mistake.
Oh, sorry. It's a design element.
So anyway, it's a basic. So and then the neckband.
Sure. I think that's what that's called.
That seems awfully. Anyway, I did that on 7s, and these are 9s.
Okay.
So yeah, I've gotten to the point. So I've gotten. You can sort of see the raglan increases right there, and so I've gotten to the point where I've finished the armholes, and I'm moving on to the main body. So now it's
I can't believe how quickly you're knitting.
So now it's just a lot of stockinette stitch. And so the cool thing, there's a little design element where the top of the shoulders are this garter stitch pattern that Scott so helpfully pointed out that I messed up. Love you, babe.
That's what I'm here for.
And so when you finish it, like the garter stitch goes all the way down the arms. So it will eventually look something like this.
And tell them about having tried it on with waist yarn.
Oh yeah, and so I just wanted to make sure that it fit. So when I got to about this far in, I put it in waist yarn to make sure that the neckband wasn't ridiculous looking, like it wasn't like a big scoop neck or it wasn't like a turtleneck. And then when I had to do the sleeves, I put the whole thing on waist yarn. I've kept sort of trying it on because I'm a little bit paranoid because the last garment I knit was too small for me.
Well, and the sweater vest that I've still not completed is too small for me. Nurse Cody put, I think it was on Instagram, or maybe it was a YouTube video, I don't remember which, but he talked about, or he posted something where that happened to him where it was like a scoop neck.
Yeah.
And he was asking for advice on what to do about that.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so this is, it's a very, I won't say easy pattern because that makes it sound like it's like not well written. It's very well written. It's very easy to follow. And yeah, it's kind of fun because I like, it's one of those things where the whole point of it is simple construction that shows off the yarn, which is amazing.
So, I'm just here to
criticize
and
point out mistakes
and
give constructive feedback.
Ruin your day. I didn't think about this till now, so it'll be interesting to see if this happens.
Don't ruin my life.
Don't ruin your life.
Okay, go on.
But one of the things with hand-dyed yarn is, depending on how many skeins you're going to need...
It's often the same
but with hand dyed, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it can be like if it's sitting. I think from what I've seen on other YouTube channels, if this is like sitting in a different spot in the pot, it can be a little bit lighter or darker.
Okay.
So you might end up with a line. But one thing you can do is actually you could start now, where you could start. What you do is every other row you switch between the two skeins and it blends it. That it doesn't matter.
That sounds horrifying.
Why?
I think it'll be fine. I think with this yarn, there's enough color variation.
But the base blue, I mean, I think you're right. I'm just saying that that's what a lot of people do, is they...
But I'm pretty sure...
John, you're colorblind, honey.
No, but
It doesn't matter with hand-dyed yarn. It doesn't matter if it's the same dye lot.
Right. I mean, it makes somewhat difference.
Well, yeah, it does. That's true. It does make some difference, but I
think it'll be fine. I'm just not going to worry about it.
But this one could be more blue than this.
I'm not going to notice it anyway. I can't see color.
I'm just trying to exhibit the behavior I want to see in the world.
Huh.
I'm just behaving the way that Betty Ann taught me, which is to talk about things like I know what I'm talking about when I don't actually know what I'm talking about. She does that all the time. So anyway, I'm just impressed. Oh,
nothing.
I'm just impressed at how
quickly it's going.
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And see, when I've seen pictures of this, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this garter stitch down the sleeves. It just looks, I don't know, it just looked a little, but like in person, I really like it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just a nice, I mean, obviously you could, you could easily do it without the garter stitch. But
you could do cables, because it's a set section size. It's a set number of stitches, so you could do cables, you could do a honeycomb.
Yeah, for sure.
You could do all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I know. Now that you've ruined my life.
Yeah, whatever. So that's what I'm here for. So somebody said something. Oh, so Patricia Sampson in the last video had commented, and she said that she was working on her sweater, I think, for this. Nani Suemo.
Okay.
Which is National Knit a Sweater Month.
Oh! That's kind of fun.
Suemo. And she said that I think it's November every year.
Okay.
And I think Tin Can Knit started it in 2017. I tried to go online and find some information about it.
It's like National Red Book Month.
Yes, that's actually what they modeled it on.
Okay.
So they...
What if you did both at the same time? You knit a sweater and wrote a book.
I Googled Nani Suemo 2019. The only reference that came up was on Reddit. Now, I won't put this out in the universe. I don't understand Reddit. I want to understand Reddit. I want to spend all my time on Reddit. To me, it's like a modern version of bulletin boards from back in the day. I'm wondering if a lot of other people that watch this that are do you go on Reddit for knitting stuff a lot? Because there was just this conversation about Nani Suemo
on Reddit.
Reddit.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't see any other things come up about this on Tin Can Knits or anything. I don't know how organized it was or whatever.
Here, wind this back up.
I'm not winding it back up.
Wind it back up. You ruined my life.
Well, should I wind it up or should you go ahead and cake it up and then you could every other... That answers that. Alright. So now it's my turn to talk. And I'm going to talk about... I can't do this. This is too much yarn at one time.
You did it real good, baby. I love you.
Alright, love you too. So, ornaments time. That's what I'm spending a lot of my time on.
They're beautiful.
So, as...
Ornaments!
Okay, so... Crisis averted. The pecan pie does not have a wobble in the middle anymore.
I thought you wanted a wobble in the middle. Like custard.
Well, not when you eat it. Eventually. When you take it out of the oven is when it should have a little bit of a wobble still. And then as it cools, the wobble should go away.
Are you
because
sure?
Because it firms up. John... So I'm trying to have a happy moment here. So
you ruined my sweater.
I have the ability to cut this out and edit it so that you look like the monster that you are. So anyway, So ornaments. So anyway, the point being,
Merry Christmas.
God bless us, everyone. The point is that the pecan pie is going to be
good.
awesome. Yes.
Good.
The pecan pie. So last time I showed my blood snowflake.
The
Fargo snowflake, as I can't remember who it was pointed that out. The snowflake I got out of the wood chipper. Then I've made a few more. I've made some green ones.
Pretty.
And then I've made some. These were made from the
that sock blank, right?
the sock blank. So they're white with red and green and gold speckles.
They're pretty.
And so I'm happy with the way they turned out. They don't take any time at all to do. It's tin can knits. We're obsessed with tin can knits.
Yes.
And then somebody pointed out, and you had told me too, though, what I-cord bind off. What the I in I-cord stands for.
Idiot.
Somebody said, well, Scott, do you know what the I in I-cord stands for? I'm sure you could handle it. Or something like that. But
that being said, I-cord bind-offs take a long time.
Well, that's the thing. Valentina pointed out. So Valentina,
Right.
From California, pointed out. She said, I think, Scott, you were thinking of the I-cord bind-off, which is different than creating an I-cord.
Oh.
She said the I-cord bind-off is what's so time-consuming.
Yeah, because I had that one of my shawls had... Because an I-cord... Creating an I-cord is just like 3 stitches. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not an
Because
idiot. So
obviously.
I haven't done it yet.
Because the Stephen West pattern I did had both an I-cord bind on, cast on, and then an I-cord bind off.
So...
And they both took a long time.
Abrupt change of subject. Why aren't you knitting that using your normal Portuguese knitting method?
So, I thought about it. So right now, because when I started it out, so when I do rib, I like to do English knitting. So the throwing.
Right.
So, and then when I'm doing a lot of
But
increases...
that's not rib. That's why I'm puzzled. Keep going.
This is rib.
Right.
So I start with rib, and then with increases and decreases, when there's a lot of them, I'm just more comfortable doing them with the way I know how to, with the regular throwing.
Knitting,
yeah, English knitting.
Throwing.
And so now I'm just on this big old... And it's not bothering me, and also I don't want to throw off my gauge.
Oh.
So...
Because you could knit it inside out.
Oh yeah, and I could knit it out...
With Portuguese knitting purling, and that
Yep.
would be really fast for you.
Yeah, but I'm just... I don't know,
Well, maybe, I mean, if your hand's not hurting.
No, this is fine. It's pretty easy. And yeah, I thought about it, because then you'd have to... Basically what you'd do is get to the end of a row, wrap, slip and wrap, because you have to turn, and then you start knitting inside out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is... And if it were going really slowly or painfully, I would be like, oh no, this is fine.
Okay.
So yeah, I tend to use the Portuguese knitting more for color work these days than anything else.
Okay, that makes sense. So, back to the ornaments. So, the ornaments, these all started with a pinhole cast on. And the pinhole cast on made me want to cry. And I finally have come to love I don't love the pinhole cast on, but
I've come to accept
the pinhole cast on into my life. I no longer have issues with its chosen lifestyle. And so, the other ornaments that I've been doing also have a pinhole cast on. And when I saw that, I just wanted to cry again. So let's talk about, let me see, there's a couple notes from people about the wine hole cast on. One,
Pinhole.
What did I just say?
Wine hole.
There's a wine-related thing coming up, and I'm drinking wine. It's not my
And
fault.
it makes you wine.
Wine hole. Pinhole cast on. So, first of all, Pam T had commented that, because one of the things I struggled with at first was like I knit, you cast on, and then you knit the first couple stitches, and then I didn't know what needle to go to next. And she said that what she does is she uses different color markers to designate the order of the order of the needles.
That makes sense.
I thought that was really smart. I've gotten the hang of it enough now that I don't struggle with that anymore.
But when you're casting on, where do you put the marker?
Like on the stitches.
Oh, okay.
Like
okay.
you just have to put it on the stitches.
Gotcha.
Like a Progress Keeper.
Perfect.
Like one of those
Yep.
detachable or whatever they're called. Yeah. So, and then what was somebody else said something about the... I think Bonnie Lawrence had commented about Roxanne Richardson, which is a YouTuber that I had not seen before, who has a lot of really interesting videos, and kind of like Stacy, Very Pink Knits, has a lot of tutorials, and I didn't watch a lot of it, but she seems like she has really interesting, totally lost my train of thought, really interesting videos about stuff.
Gotcha.
So, and Bonnie also, oh no, sorry, I got distracted. So, and then the last thing I wanted to mention was that Cassie D had mentioned a website or a blogger. Brittany is her name, and her blog is Just Be Crafty. And she has a lot of really cool stuff on her blog. And one of the things which I am totally making is little cabled sweaters for your wine bottles to give them as gifts.
That's cute.
Oh my god, why do you hate me? What's going on? Why that reaction?
I mean, it's cute.
You know me, I like that kind of stuff.
I know, it's cute.
So you just knit it. So anyway, it starts with a pinhole cast on, and then you knit the little sweater for your wine bottle. I thought it was cool. Whatever, I was expecting you to react more strongly than that, and it makes me sad that you didn't. Alright, so I figured out the pinhole cast on. So I got the snowflakes done. Those are fine. I'm going to do some, I might do some more. I'm going to do some I-cord bind on, or I-cords for them. So then I moved on to a pattern by, these are the Hoarfrost ornaments by Cynthia Levy. I think I found it on Red Tiger Designs, and she's Red Tiger on Ravelry, and Red Tiger Designs on Twitter and Instagram. So she has this is a great pattern. So the thing that's cool about this is you knit it, and what I wanted to do was have something where there was an actual physical ball of some kind inside to make it the pretty ball shape instead of the potatoes that I made before. And she recommends polystyrene or styrofoam balls. I guess there are other patterns where you have to knit it closed or you have to knit over the balls that are on the inside. And this one, you knit the top and the bottom as separate sections, and then you Kitchener it together. And I can't tell you how much I love this pattern. So it's got some really cool charts for different snowflake motifs that you can do. And the other thing that she points out is that you can block this by spraying water on it and then drying it with a warm iron or a warm a hairdryer or whatever. And so I haven't done that with these yet. But the other thing that I did that's a little different than what she did, because I went to Michael's, which is our local big box craft everything store, and they didn't have, ultimately, with the needles and the yarn that I'm using, which is fingering weight yarn and 2.5 millimeter needles, I couldn't, I needed 3-inch diameter balls, and I couldn't find polystyrene or styrofoam balls in that size. However, I did find glass ball ornaments that were pretty inexpensive, that were just clear glass that you could fill with things or whatever.
There's some right behind you.
I got 2.6-inch glass ball ornaments, and they were too small. So then I went and got the 3.1-inch or 80 millimeter diagram glass balls, and these are perfect. And this was $10 for 6 of these ornaments. So what I did was I started with this one. Now, it's pretty, but what I did was I used green, and then I used
the sock blank.
The sock blank that I showed on the last one, where I've got my sock blank right here. This sock blank for the white part, it's got green and red and gold, whatever in it. Colors in it. And as you can see, the snowflake motif doesn't really show up well on that. So I'm really happy with it overall, but I just, oops, as I shatter it, I wanted something that would show up a little more, show off the color work a little bit better. So we'll keep this one for us. So then I went. Oh, and so we found a new store in the Minneapolis area called Harriet and Alice. It's at 50th and France. For those of you who know Minnesota,
It's in Edina.
in Edina. That's true. It's not in Minneapolis. It's in Edina. And it is the cutest little store. The people there are so nice. It's a tiny little, not tiny, but it's a very small space, and they have got all kinds of stuff in there, and they've organized their store very well. But it's still, it doesn't feel cramped at all. It feels very homey and.
And they have Chowgu cables, which is very important.
They have Chowgu cables and Chowgu needles, which
is basically
which is our kit.
Yeah.
Our what's it called? Our
interchangeable
set is the Chowgu twist. So,
and since we can never find cables, like.
And it's not that the dog eats them, and it's not that they get lost in the dryer. It's that we have 14,000 projects that are on the go, and we forget that we have them and they're buried somewhere.
Yep. So when we die, they'll find the number of interchangeable Chowgu cables and not be sick people.
Right. So I went down there. I took a day off in the middle of the week, and I was just running errands, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go to a yarn store. And so I Googled, I was looking for a 2.5 millimeter 9-inch circular because I'm teaching my friend Amanda to knit, or knit socks specifically. She had knit hats and things before, and she wanted to learn how to knit socks. And she, so she has the pair or the set of 2.5 millimeter needles, 9-inch circulars that I typically use. So I went and bought another set from them. And while I was there, I bought this yarn, which is, it's 3 Irish girls. What's Geonitrix? I think he has like I don't know if it's a collab or official collab or what exactly, but he works with them a lot. And they do have great yarn. So this is 85-15, so it's 85% merino, 15% nylon, and it's just, let's see, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it'll knit out. So, what do you want to make with that? Is that like a sock thing or a hat thing?
You know, you're joking, right?
Make socks out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I thought you were joking because all I ever want to do is knit socks.
You're making ornaments now.
Well, that's because it's Christmas.
Okay.
All right, so this is their Adorn Luxe base, and it's the colorway is Trickery. So it's 3 Irish girls yarn, and it's beautiful. I love it. So these will be socks, probably, most likely. So anyway, I bought that, and then I was like, oh my god, I have to show John this store because you needed a Chowgu cable.
Yeah.
Too. So we went down there, I think a couple days later, and I also bought 2 skeins of yarn, and so this I just needed a nice white. It didn't want it to be like stark white, but that's just a nice. It's more of a, I wouldn't say it's cream, but it's creamier white.
It's a warmer white.
Yeah. So it's, the brand on here is Emma's Yarn, and Emma's Yarn, the interesting story there is that it's this, okay, I'm going to be relaying this third hand, so I'm not sure if this is right, but what the woman at the store told me is that Emma is a young person in Florida who learned how to dye yarn in her chemistry class in school, or she used what she learned in her chemistry class in school, in high school, and she's like started her own dyeing. And there was a ton of yarn with this from Emma's Yarn in that, in the store. So it was really impressive, especially because supposedly she's like 18 or 19 years old or something. So anyway, I just got this because it's just a basic cream color. I'm going to go back and get more yarn of hers, I'm sure. I keep doing like this because I can't see because our tripod is gone thanks to our dog. So this is the colorway. It's her practically perfect sock base, which is 80% merino, 20% nylon, and the colorway Whisper. And then this is got crap all over it. This is a Mirasol yarn. So Mirasol It says, by purchasing Mirasol products, you are supporting the children of these shepherds and the continuation of this ancient tradition. A portion of every purchase is dedicated directly to the funding of a school in the remote area of somewhere in the region of Peru. I can't pronounce. So the color. So this is 40% wool, 40% bamboo, and 20% nylon. So it's an interesting blend. It's really nice yarn. It's got a for fingering weight, it's extremely tightly twisted, which is, I like, for this kind of thing. And it's Cuscu, I don't know if that's the base, Khusku, which is looks like it's a Native American word for colorful.
Probably Quechua.
Yes, that is what it is. Quechuan word for colorful. Sorry, I thought you were pronouncing that as Quechua, and I was like, I don't know how you get Quechua out of that. All right, so what was I trying to say? Oh, and then the I'm sure this is something in Spanish that you can probably tell me what it means. It's the colorway is altiplano.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that like high plains?
Sure.
And yeah, so anyway, bought this yarn because I wanted kind of a bluish gray, which is kind of like a wintry color. It's a kind of an alternative to the green and blue, red and green of Christmas. And so I have knit these two.
Yay.
From that. And the color work really stands out a lot more.
Yeah, those are very pretty.
With these. Better than the other one. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm trying to do a couple more of these because I am doing the thing that I've done in previous years that Betty Ann threw shade at me in the last episode about.
Aw, she's so mean.
Like, I spent hours baking cookies.
Putting them in boxes and not sending them.
No, I did that twice. I have spent hours baking cookies, making ornaments, and mailing them to her for the past 2 Christmases. 3 Christmases ago, I was not knitting, so I just baked her cookies. And she's acting like it was like, oh, that one time you did that. Because it was the year I did the sweaters.
Which was last year.
Yeah, and then there was the year that I did the other things that I can't remember now. That I swear I did.
Sure.
Right? So anyway, yeah, so I'm going to do like green or red, I think, ornaments with the white, with the Whisper from Image Yarn, and do some more. But basically what happens is it's a pinhole cast on, and you knit this top section that goes from the top center down to where the color work starts. And actually, I take that back. You do the bottom from up to where the color work ends. You do that first. And that is one piece. Now, the ball's not involved at this point. Then you knit the top part as a separate piece, just to where the color work starts. So then I I don't tighten the pinhole cast on, and I slip it over the ornament, the little stubby top part of the ornament. And then I Kitchener on the glass, with both pieces on the glass ball, I Kitchener it closed. And then I slip this part back into this metal part back into the top of the ornament. And it works perfectly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm going to do probably another 1 or 2 of those with the red or green. And then, and the other thing is that these ornaments have the ring creases are really cool on the bottom of this. I think you can see that. They kind of spiral out. And the thing that I really like, so that is the make one.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the thing where I said I didn't like it, where you pick up the bar in between and knit through the back loop. And I actually have done it so many times now that I actually kind of like it. So I got over my hatred of that increase. But there's 2 pattern sets, I guess you'd call it, by Susan B. Anderson. That is Holiday Charms, the Holiday Charms set, and Holiday Charms set number 2. And there's like little snowmen with stocking caps and
Cute.
little Christmas trees and stuff like that. So I'm going to work on making some of those, maybe for my coworkers or something. I don't know yet. So that I'm going to continue my ornament
Frenzy.
frenzy. Because I've still got a month before Christmas. So.
I know. Very
Yeah,
exciting.
so I blathered on quite a bit about ornaments there. So you had a birthday.
I did. And I got... So I'll do the non-birthday yarn first.
The what?
I bought some non-birthday yarn first, and we'll talk about that.
Oh, gotcha.
So this is... I think I got this at the same... Wait, did I buy this or you buy this?
I don't think I bought that.
Okay. I believe I bought this at Stephen B at the same time I bought Midnight Blue.
Oh, I think you did.
Or
I think you meant deep trench
dark
blue.
fjord blue. Ice fjord. Actually, it's not really ice fjord.
Chilean fjord blue.
Sure.
Ushuaia blue.
There we go.
Cape of Good Hope blue.
It's more green, I think. So anyway, this is just a...
Sapphire of the Sea blue.
Yes. So this is just another... It's superwash from merino. It is... I don't know. Fingering weight.
No.
Yeah, it is. Fingering weight.
That's some heavy fingering weight.
Well, it says fingering weight.
Well, maybe not. It's 100%. No, 100 grams, 435 yards.
Maybe it stretches.
That's a price. It just looks.
Yeah, it looks a
thicker
little
than-
heavier than that.
Yeah.
And I just liked it. I'll make something with that.
So it's got. Let's look here. It's got basically greens and grays and maybe a little bit of blue.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. I don't see the blue, but that's okay.
Right there.
Sure.
It's like a deep sea blue or like a coral blue. No, I'm just making that up.
Yeah.
But that is blue. You know, you
Sure.
can see it, but whatever.
So anyway, I don't know. I liked it. I think it will make a good something. You know.
Did it just speak to you?
Yeah, I liked the
Variegation in it?
I like the drab variegation.
Oh, honey.
It's kind of drab.
It is drab, and that's because that the world is drab to you.
It is drab though. Right?
Well, what does drab mean to you?
It means like muted, not like crazy bright colors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm more of I like the crazy bright colors more.
I like them sometimes, but I also like the, things that look like, a rainy day in England.
Like the inside of your soul.
Yeah. This is exactly what the inside of my soul looks like. Kind of grayish green with a little bit of blue streaks in it. But it's all muted and drab.
Alrighty then.
Anywho, so
the label or the brand is Unique.
Unique.
UNEEK.
Yep.
Do you know anything about that brand?
I don't. It makes pretty yarn.
Or no, it's Fezza yarn.
Fezza yarn. I think the
base is unique.
base is unique, or the color is... No, the colorway is unique. Or the color is 3006. And the dye is 417. Anyway, it's very pretty. FezzaYarns.com with one Z.
FEZA yarns. Yeah, I'll put it on the screen.
So, drab.
Okay, what other yarn did you get?
So, this is not birthday yarn. So, I turned 45 2 weeks ago.
So old.
I
yes.
know, super old. And Betty Ann got me a gift certificate to Artistic Yarn
By
Abby.
Abby.com.
Abby.com.
ABBI. No, ABI.
ABI. So she got me a gift certificate to them, and they specialize in self-striping yarns. So, and they base their yarns off of a lot of... Their self-striping yarns are often based off like a certain color scheme. So, this one is based on Tootsie Roll Pops. Not Tootsie Rolls. So it's got the brown of the label, the brown, red, and white of the label. So when you knit it up, it has those stripes. So I liked that a lot, and I thought it'd be fun. And the other one I got is peanut butter and jelly.
And that is so peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyway, what I think I'm going to make with these are a couple of pair of short socks.
Oh, right.
With
right.
the Made the Rose City Rollers pattern, because I don't have any of those, and these would be fun.
Yeah, and
Thanks, Betty Ann.
Betty Ann had gotten me yarn from them and that I'd shown on the podcast before. One was like citrus, and it was like a lime and a tangerine and a lemon stripes. And then the other one was like bright neon colors that I started some socks on, but I don't like. I've been trying different kind of like choose your own adventure with my socks, and I'm just like, I'll just go back to vanilla socks.
Yeah, this is just kind of, so I just liked how it looked online. I just liked the kind of imagination behind it, and kind of this is Tootsie Roll. Like, period. So they had a couple other ones that were really neat too, like Blow Pop and stuff like that. So they do some really, really cool colors. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I figure I can do a short sock and that'll be fine.
We won't have a panic attack. Oh, there was somebody, and I can't remember who it was, they had pointed out... Did we talk about the fact that you didn't like knitting just tubes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's one person who online, they knit an entire tube for both socks. They put toes on the end. They broke it in the middle, added the rib.
Oh.
It was like they did afterthought cuffs, toes, or afterthought cuffs and heels.
That would totally get rid of second sock.
So but it was just one giant long tube.
So you cast on, but you have to cast on the toe, or do you just do the toe?
Well, you could do a provisional cast on.
Yeah.
I guess you could do a bottom up, technically. I didn't dig into the details on the website, but you could do
a bottom up.
Well, you could do a bottom up and then the tube and then a top down. And then you break it in the middle.
Right.
You pick up the stitches in the middle and on two separate needles and then do the cuff. I might do that just for fun.
Or you could be even crazier and start with the toe, do the heel.
I don't know how you would do a heel, but I guess you would just do a bottom up heel.
Yeah.
And then do a top down heel.
Yeah. And then you just do like you do with...
I would just do an afterthought heel because that would be too difficult. That wouldn't be any fun to me. He's trying to figure out the heels. That would make it too difficult. But you could do it. Oh, do you have your bell pull I made? Mine is somewhere, but I might make another on at some point. Sorry, Betty Ann just texted us.
Yes, I think we do.
We do, yeah. It's in our Christmas decorations.
Yeah. But it's not Christmas yet, so we're not putting them out yet.
No, but day after tomorrow we will.
Oh, I'll be here.
Oh, that's right. John's going to visit his family in Colorado. But I will be there in Colorado at Christmas.
Right. So, those are my yarns, my new yarns. Yay. Thank you, Betty Ann. Yay.
So for the foreseeable future, I'll be finishing up, focusing on ornaments. If I don't cast on a sock soon, I'm going to have a panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
Because I miss it so much. Maybe I'll just do that tube thing.
Yeah. So I'll be working the sweater for a while. Although, I'll be in Colorado for a week and staying with my mom, and I'll get a lot of knitting done. So I'll be working from home, working remotely from her apartment and stuff like that. So that'll be...
Her condo.
So yeah, I'm actually going to use that time too. I'm doing holiday gifts for my brother and his wife.
That's right. 2
hats for them. So we've got these 2 hat kits that we've had lying around for a while that I'm just going to buzz through and make into hats.
Gotcha.
So that's my goal for that.
All right, well then we will be back with updates on those projects and maybe another knit-along in our future.
Perhaps. All right.
All right, well thanks everybody. Have a happy Thanksgiving if you're in the U.S. and if not, then have a happy late November.
Happy almost Christmas.
Yeah.
All right.